Hey, good morning, good morning. Good morning, folks. This is Spirit Journey. And yes. Yes, it is Monday, November 23, 2020, and the time is now showing outside the window. And I think it's drizzling. You can hear sounds of rain. It was just scaring my little dog here. Yeah, he crawled on my lap. Let's see if you can get him. Oh, you can hardly see his face. Yeah, I'm just shining on his face now, but you can't really see it. Yeah, my little boy. Yeah, oh, it's my little girl. Yeah. Hi, Lily. Yeah, oh, she's wagging her tail. Oh, yeah, oh, she looks so sweet. Yeah. Yes, I have my earplugs on with the built-in mic, and so I hope you can hear. Yeah, I have to try to project because I'm just getting up. I was dreaming, and it's around maybe 6:30, and uh, when I awaken, I again kept my eyes closed and just relaxed, and uh, I saw a vision almost immediately. Yeah, it seems like now the transition between awakening, I don't remember what I was dreaming, but the awake, dreaming and then getting into the vision, awareness, lucidness is a smooth transition. At least it just seems more fluid in between states. And what I saw today, okay, it was very brief. And I saw, yeah, what's on the screen now? Yes, I'm watching a video. I just couldn't just go to sleep. I mean, I was tired, but I just didn't want to go to sleep. I was just glued on the internet. Yes, I'm watching InfoWars with Alex Jones. Yes, I was. Yeah, his latest information. He has banned dot video, and people. You gotta watch it. The information that he has things that was on the media and newspapers, news reports. That's really showing a lot of information. And just watch it. I mean, you come to your own decisions about things. But anyhow, today's vision, it was an outdoor scene. And the outdoor scene, again, it was looking at it was the pavement. And the pavement, well, the place reminded me of, when I enter Central Park, that entryway is a very broad entryway into the park, and it curves a little bit, the pathway. That's what it reminded me of, but thinking now, it wasn't that same pathway, but it reminded me so much of Central Park. The pavement was made out of cement. It was a type of cement that's blended with these these pebbles. They were light and very dark mixture of these petals. So it had like the base base cement, because cement is made out of this compound. It's like all grounded up, but they could also blend it with other textured rocks or pebbles, whatever. And that's what it was. So it had the pale gray background, and mixed in it was like the pebble size, maybe they were like a 3/4 to an inch in diameter of the light colored pebble and then the very dark one. And it was smoothed, it was smoothed out. Usually you could see the pattern like that, the mixture when, like let's say they break up the cement and you can see what's really compounded underneath. But this one you could tell, even without it being broken up in pieces. Uh, yeah, I had like a bait. Yeah, I noticed the color. I was very interested in seeing the the pattern of it, and interested like the first image of it was my looking. Okay, you have a like a it was a curb, like a street side curb, and the curb, a standard size curb, maybe 5 inches in height or something like that, and that the corners of it was curved. It was smooth. It wasn't like a 90-degree angle. It was rounded. I noticed that. And I was looking at it uh, parallel, parallel to the curb. So it's like I'm standing, I'm looking at it as if I'm standing uh, facing along the length of the pathway. And then I was seeing it as if it was perpendicular now. So that means standing facing the curb and looking downward. And I can see that on the peripheral, on the side where the curb was, I could see that it's grass, that it was like a very short matted grass. And my impression was, okay, this is something that looks like now, what the grass will look like now, since it's getting um, cold in New York City. That's where I live, New York City. And I also notice in how I'm seeing this, those long, like in the center of my vision of this scene that I'm seeing. Again, it's a very narrow, almost like a tunnel vision. You can't see a broad panoramic view. It's very narrow what I'm seeing. That long, that looks like a plant. It's like it's dangling downward, um, and it's actually, the 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 tunnel-like vision is also on a diagonal, like I'm not looking like straight down. That would form like a perpendicular, but actually, the vision is on an angle, looking downward, and this, to me, I always call it looks like a plant, a long, uh, like a vine type plant, like something that grows. If it grew, it would grow like just straight down, like hops. Like when you're making beer, hops. Hops is a plant. It's just in fact, hops, HOPS. It grows on a string. You have a string, and it travels downward towards the ground, just straight down. So remind me of that type of plant. Uh, it's like, so it's a long stem, And let's see, yeah, like a long stem, and then the leaves, what looks like leaves, they're thin leaves about a quarter of an inch in width, and the length of it might be 3 inches long, something like that. And it was a, it could have been green, a darkish, yeah, this was a dark color. Sometimes those stringy, plant-like things, sometimes it could be light, a paler color. But this was a dark color, as if it could have been, a standard green plant of some sort. And they're surrounding my view. Um, it's almost as if like you have a lens, and those plants are growing. It's surrounding the whole lens in a tunnel-like vision, and it's just dangling down. So you can see the center, but those plants, but the plants not like moving and swaying. It's stationary. It doesn't move. Um, and for that vision to be on an angle like that, and if this thing is surrounding the lens like thing, uh, it would be covering the view because it would dangle down and cover the view of what I'm seeing, but it's not. So it's stationary, as if it's stiff, and it moves. The whole thing moves together, as if it's one piece, if that makes sense. So it's the whole unit. There was some movement of what I'm seeing, like it's panning a little bit. Yeah, because I was able to see it in one direction, what I'm seeing in one direction, and the next time it's in another position, my view. And that's basically what I saw. And then again, it was daytime. It was daytime. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. You can say hello in the chat room and um, press the like button if you wish. I appreciate it. Yeah, so that is what I saw. Um, so how this vision thing changes for the one that I saw yesterday. Um, the same type of tunnel-like vision, um, but this I was looking upward. Yesterday, most of the things I see, I'm looking downward, towards the ground. But this one, yesterday, I should say, yesterday morning, I was looking in the opposite direction, looking upward, looking at the source of what device I'm looking through. And that's when I saw that man, that he was a Caucasian fellow, remind me of a scientist. I think he could have been wearing a lab coat, and it was very deliberate, and he's staring at me. At least where I would be positioned. I don't see myself. I'm just the observer, and he's observing me, or looks like he's looking at me, and he's moving this tubular device that's aiming right at my face. Where would be my face? And it had a nozzle, some type of ring at the end, at the base of it. And that thing, he's moving it up and down, slowly though, up and down, where my face would be. Very deliberate. So it's interesting in contrast between yesterday's vision and today, because I'm looking downward, I I don't see any person. And I'm just thinking that this device, because I think it's a device that's allowing me to see what I'm seeing, almost as if it's like a portal, something that could allow you to see what you're seeing. And And the fact that those little leaves thing, the plant thing, I call it a plant. Again, I'm not sure what it is, but it's always the same type. That type, or sometimes a different type, the light color one. Um, it's it's allowing me to see. It's allowing me to see this thing. I've been seeing those dangly little plant things for a while now in my early morning vision exercises that I do first thing upon waking up. I've thought at first very strongly that. So let me back up just a little bit. Um, it could have been maybe 3 years ago, and I was meditating. I was meditating in the not in my room. I was in the living room, and it was like daytime, but it wasn't like when I first wake up. I was just doing a standard meditation. Um, I might have been somewhere in the living room. I was doing the meditation, and I saw with clarity a young man. Um, he was standing. Okay, it was he was in a dark room or dark place, and he was one of those Africans, dark skin, black African, petite, very dark, short cropped hair, and he's wearing white paint on his face. And he looked almost identical as someone that I saw over the internet who practices the beat, what do you call it? Um, what do you call it? Iboga. Iboga medicine man. Looked just like him. And you can see him looking into the darkness. He's like trying to pierce through. He doesn't see me. His vision is my seeing him. He's below, about maybe a foot below me, and he's just staring out in darkness straight ahead, and I'm looking downward at him, and I see his eyes and everything, and he's like blinking, looking, and it was amazing. And I don't hear anything. But I almost forgot. Now, when that was happening, I saw, like on my right hand side, these long, long leaves. Like you see this plant in front of, in your vision, in the center of the screen. You see how long those leaves are? It, but it was like as if it was those palm trees, longer that those big trees that have kind of leaves, something like that, but like a big tree, a palm tree, and it was on the right side, and it seemed as though I was hiding behind the leaves, because I noticed at that time, maybe it was about 3 years ago or so. Every time when I did have a vision in it, one of my standard visions, a prepared vision, like go in my living room, set up my table where I'm gonna sit by and just close my eyes. That I would see, when I do finally see something, I'm always behind some type of leafy plant like that. It's the same type of plant, like a palm tree type of thing, and it's usually always on my right hand side in what I'm seeing, and I just assumed that somehow when I it's as if I'm there. It's as if I'm physically there, that somehow I have the knowledge just before my consciousness kicks in that I permit myself to hide behind this tree, the leaves of the tree, so that I will not be seen. I think that's my logic. Because back then it was always the same thing, a long leafy plant like this one, the type of leaf. But it was I think a palm, the standard palm tree, you know. Uh, so I don't understand that. I mean, I assume that's what was going on back then. But now, the little leafy thing, it's it's seems to be short, and in today's I didn't see the base of it, um, and I'm not able to like force myself to see the origins of it, to look in the opposite direction. So if it is the same type of device of yesterday with the scientists, uh, I don't know. I really don't know. So I felt very strongly yesterday. I wasn't supposed to see the man, and I told myself yesterday after I woke, got out of the vision. I said, "Hey, I'm getting better at this, and I want to see that person. I want to see who's doing this because I feel that some things are being done to me, and I want to be bold, and I want to know what's going on." So yes, I'm glad I saw the individual, and I believe it's a real individual. And it's interesting that yeah, I even did a I did a pendulum work yesterday. Yeah, I'm exploring different metaphysical methods of trying to obtain knowledge. And the pendulum, it's one of those, it's like something on a string. It has like a weight on like a small object on the end of the string or the chain. And you hold it in your dominant hand and you ask it a yes or no question. And that's what I was doing yesterday. Um, I haven't done something like that in a number of months. I'm not really sure how accurate it really is, but sometimes that pendulum be moving. See, yeah, with the pendulum, basically it might move from side to side or may move in a clockwise direction or counterclockwise circular method. And so you have to program what do you call the pendulum, what we call the pendulum, and program it or ascertain for that pendulum and for that session what would be um, a no response or yes response or anything like that. You decide. I mean, it tells you by how it goes. So you say, okay, like you can say, okay, my name is so and so, and let's say you make up a fictitious name, and of course you know your name, and it gives the response. So let's say you say, okay, my name is so and you know it's wrong, and for that it would indicate the response. So that response would be a no. Well, let's say you give information that is true, like what your true name is, and you say it, and then it will give you a response. So that would be most like a yes response. So that's what I did yesterday, and what I got out of it, um, the man, it gave a lot of yes responses. And I think at one time I was trying to give it a no, something that I like. I would have a question, and I would say to myself, "Well, I doubt that this is the case," and expected to give a contrary, answer. So I know it wouldn't be a yes answer. I think at one time it did give a different answer because I didn't want to all just give yes, 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 yes. Because then you start wondering, hey, could he give a no answer? Okay, but what I got out of take it or leave it. I say to myself that the person is an American. I think yeah, and oh wait. See, oh brother, now I'm forgetting. Boy, my short-term memory. Oh, what was that now? The that it's supposed to be it happening in New York. Like the person that I saw yesterday is in New York City. That's where I was. It said I was in New York City. 'Cause I think I'd said it was I um, in other places. Was I in um, a certain place? And it gave contrary. Boy, I wish I could remember details. I notice now my recall of things is changing. I was very, young when I was younger. I was able to remember details of things. Details. Now I'm finding it hard to retrieve information. Yeah, that I do notice, and I'm wondering whether it's um, the devices that I use, the cell phone, the computers, the um, notepads. I use it constantly. So I hope that it's not interfering with memory. And again, it could just be age, we're all not getting younger. So I found it very telling. I think um, yeah, I wasn't completely satisfied. I want to be honest with everything. Um, I don't want to just tell myself what I want to hear because a lot of the responses were yes response, and again, it could have been true. Um, I think now, like I have down here below, I have like a notebook, as you see here. Oops, this is like a notebook for tarot. This is the book that comes with the tarot card. Yeah, I was going to do a tarot card reading yesterday after the pendulum work. Yeah, the cards are in this bag here. Yeah, they say with the cards, tarot cards, you keep it in a dark case. I found this little pouch. So it's like it's sleeping in the in the pouch. You keep it dark, in a dark container. So the sunlight, something about sunlight, it interferes with the reading. Again, I don't know how true that is, but that makes sense to me. That if these cards, tarot cards, could pick up energies of things, it's like programming the cards. Everything, everything affects everything else. It's like if someone touches you that you don't like, whatever, or someone's creepy, are you going to feel different and respond differently? So I interpret it the same way. Keep things what want to be left alone, and you just keep it a nice like it's a home. It's sleeping, so to speak. And when you're ready to use it, you take it out and you wake it up. But I find the tarot card readings are more compelling. Yeah, I find just if it's like I mean, um, I find it really interesting. Maybe 90% of the time, the information uh, of these cards. I got these cards. These are my first decks. I got them in I think it's 2014. I think I got it in 2014 or 2015. I remember actually buying it. Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff that day. I bought the cards. I books and everything. Yeah. So, so I'm on my little journey. My metaphysical vision journey began in, I think it was, oh, what was that now? Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was 2014. 20, yeah. Yes. 2014, my meditation thing. Yeah, I started buying, I think, the metaphysical stuff. I think even candles. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It's a fun process. And I know, I wanted to get outside of my comfort zone. I was pretty much raised very, very traditional, a traditional girl from New York City, born and raised, just a standard New Yorker. Um, my father did have tarot cards. He did have it. And I thought it was all BS. I thought it was all BS. But what he was doing, he was doing it for effect, in my opinion. Um, but when you do a tarot card with intent, with an honest intent, man, try it. Try it. I was so fearful. The day I bought the cards, I felt like I was poo pooing on myself, man, because tarot cards is evil. I said to myself, it's an evil thing. And I remember, like, I got in the bookstore. Um, I thought it was, yeah, that particular bookstore, that location is closed. It was on 50 something street in Lexington. And yeah, that closed. Oh, and you know what else? I know I'm kind of a little over the place. That was the day I don't have his card. I didn't throw it out. It's missing. Yeah, because I did call the individual, and I know I didn't throw it out. When I got home, I called the individual. Yeah, it was that day. It was uh, they have, I think it's a metaphysical, well, the area where they have all that paraphernalia, the books and all that, or alternative history, things like that. Because I was determined. I just needed questions asked. My paradigm system was expanding and I was challenged. And at that time, I was following this YouTuber's channel. It was a female. Um, I don't, I don't want to give the name, but she was a big part of my expand. I already wanted to expand. And I saw that she was expanding and changing, all these revealing more about herself and her journey. And I had cut off my hair. It happened in April. I really saw that she seemed to be really expanding spiritually, and I wanted to change. And it was that one particular morning, I cut off all my hair. I said, I'm going through something, an awakening, and as a symbolicness of this desire to expand my mind, I cut my hair extremely short. I mean, it wasn't like bald, but it was like maybe a quarter of an inch length. I did a nice job, actually. Yeah, and I have a video of me with that hairstyle. Yeah. Yeah, I was wearing my baby blue sweater, and I was showing the hair because I had earrings on. It came out nice. I got it up early Sunday morning, and I shared it, and I felt liberated, boy. I did. I felt very liberated, like a new beginning. Yes. So for me, cutting the hair was a sign of a new beginning, a new revelation. And so, yeah, I did it, and it felt great. Um, yeah, that was 2014, I believe. Yeah, 2014. And I did get to meet that person. Uh, did I see him that year? Yeah, I saw them that April. Yeah, I saw. I'm pretty sure. Let me see now. Yeah, I think I saw her April of that year. Yeah, because I was new with the meditation. Yeah, because on her video, she was teaching about meditation, what she does, and so I started incorporating it for the first time. And that same month, uh, she had contacted me because she was in the city with her family, and I walked over to meet her. It was a very positive introduction. Uh, and I remember when I was walking over there, I was going over in my head the new vision that I saw. I saw a man, just the face of a man, and my impression of them, he was a Caucasian fellow, face very angular, a very European looking man. Small frame, not but, yeah. He looks like this actor. Reminds of the actor, same type of face to describe it. I think his last name is Bloom. I think it's Bloom or Blum, and he's on the Pirates of the Caribbean series with with oh, what's that guy? Oh, I forget that actor's name. He was on 21 Jump Street. How could I forget his name? But yeah, that series, Pirates of the Caribbean, that movie series. That guy, he's like a co-star in the movie. That man's face, a very European, so and about that age and the shape of the face and everything, just like that. Dark eyes, dark hair. Doesn't say anything. I just see him. And I also saw these patterns. I think it was red and green, tiny rectangular chains. It had a black dot in the center of each of them. And I think it was moving like a wave. And those were my first visions ever like that. Again, I was sitting down at my meditation table, and the form. I had my singing bowls and all that. Set my what do you call it? My shrine. What do you call it? Your shrine or your your table. And I did it there. I was sitting down, my cross-legged. A standard. Someone wants to do a meditation. Yeah, that was my first attempt, and it was very interesting. I don't have visions of geometric shapes anymore. Yeah, for the first few years, so that was started in April of 2014. Uh, I think it's 14 through all throughout 16. I was just seeing geometrical shapes, and some of them were in color, things like that. Yeah, and then they slowly evolved in geometric shapes, but um, actual objects. It was these glass balls of different sizes that I would see that looked real. But I would say that the types of things that I was seeing changed for me in 2017, early 2017. Um, at that time, I was into plant. I wanted to get into plants, and I wanted a plant garden in my apartment. I had ordered that December of the prior year, 2016, soils, things to grow gardening, I ordered it online, fertilizer, all these things. And I got the seeds and everything, and I wanted to grow like a jungle in my apartment. Yeah, I was so interested in being around nature. That was another thing I wanted. I wanted to be with nature. Yeah. be with nature. It really is comforting, you know. And so I started planting the seeds. I got all the paraphernalia, but it came, I think, in late January. So I then started planting the seeds and everything. And during the, and I didn't want to get out of bed also in 2017. Like I used to, get up, go to the tape, my meditation area, but I was too lazy to get out of bed. And yeah, could you guys hear me? I do have my mic. Sometimes I have it right by my mouth and then I drop it down my shoulders. So yeah, I'm holding it up. But yeah, just you could press a one for yes that you can hear the audio, that it's clear. Okay. So yeah, so I started that January. Um, I started meditating in my room. So I would like wake up and I was too lazy to get up. So I said, hey, meditation, meditation. Let me just lie right here in my bed and just keep my eyes closed. And I saw something. Yeah, this time it was something real, like you're looking at a movie, something live. It was a property. It was outdoors, and I saw like so I there was no details to the how I think it's more like a mansion. So it was a big facility, big building. It was daytime, and I remember seeing the ground again, the gravel. I mean, not gravel, the ground, but it was made out of. It was nicely done. It was made out of these little pebbles, these light colored pebbles, and it was all smooth. Everything was smooth. Very leveled, and it was a pale color. And I think it was cylinder, like those driveways, like some facilities when you're driving in, it's in a circular, so that the taxis or the limos, whatever, they you go in, make a circular, and then you come out. It was like that. It looked very looked like a either was a if it was a private residence, it was a mansion, or maybe it was a corporation. Who knows? It was some. It wasn't any just a common place. It was something that was an important place. It was a place that people came to visit, and I gathered it was a place that was catered to a higher end, a clientele of importance of some type. I don't know what type of importance. And then I started to see plants. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Um, I started to see plants, and I remember the first plant. It reminded me of a lettuce, a tall lettuce, narrow, like what do you call it? Narrow, like what do you call those things? Oh, what they make a Caesar salad out of? Those leaves. I forget the name. What you call it? It's the long, narrow one, but it was a little different. Um, the ends of the leaves were like hairy, like little long squiggly. I mean, yeah, it had like a squiggly edges of it, and it's slightly open. The lettuce looking thing. Yeah. So I thought, wow, maybe this is my calling to do gardening. Yeah, so that's why I really got into it. Yeah, because I was just seeing plants, and then um, I think the other, every time I meditated at this time, and it was always looking at these plants, and I was fascinated by it. So I said, hey, I'm going to go with this. And so I just started planting in my apartment. I did videos of me doing my planting in my apartment. Yeah, it didn't turn out too well, people. I want to be honest. Uh, the seedlings, for whatever reason, and I did buy a plant light for it. It just didn't thrive. It didn't. Uh, Certain seeds do thrive. I had these peppers, these pepper. What do you call it? I think it was not jalapeno. Oh, they look like little. Is what they use in Jamaica? Bonnet. It looked like a bonnet pepper. And yeah, there were the yellow and the orange ones. They seem to grow better, you know. So that's what really grew here. So at one point, all over my apartment, I had those little peppers plants all over the place. My herbs though didn't grow, you know, the cilantro and all this stuff. But I am doing what do you call it? Sprouting now. I bought these sprouting jars and caps. And the best thing to use for sprouting that's almost foolproof are mung beans. Mung, M-U-N-G, mung beans. They start to sprout in 2 days. So you want, yeah, I'm determined. See, yeah, I am determined to grow things. I feel that getting connected to nature is the key, is one of the keys to um, have this spiritual, to enhance your spiritual awakeness. And, you know, I've said this before, I was so afraid of nature. I was afraid of that. I mean, I was so brainwashed that you're not supposed to uh, your own eat from your own garden because it was poison, and that you could only buy food in a supermarket because their food is clean and yours isn't. I kid you not. I was so fearful. Even to recently, even because the brainwashing was that severe, at least how I internalized life, that always other people could do things, but you can't. That other people's stuff is clean, but yours not. So what is that really telling about myself? Exactly, people. Exactly. And I know I'm not alone because this, and like this guy, you know, Alex Jones, you know, and you know he is controversial, but it's about breaking out of the narrative. Yes, someone just dropped from the view, but you know, um, you have to start challenging yourself. Let's see. Egg cheeseburger, that could be very, very true. Too much fertilizer and no prepping finish. And okay. Grow everything I can myself. Oh, nice cheeseburger. GM. What does GM mean? Oh, good morning. See, I'm learning. I'm learning. Yes. Hi, cheeseburger. Yes, it's nice to see you. Yes, my new viewer. Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, it encourages me too when I get feedback, you know. Um, yeah, I realize how severely I was programmed. I was such a fearful child. Fearful child. See, I share what I share because I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. And you see people now with the that CV, as I call it. I'll call it CV. I won't spell it out, but you know what's happening with the health now because of the letter C as in cat and V as in Victor. They have healthy looking people running in fear to those emergency, oh no, what do you call it? Urgent care centers. Like it's urgent? These people look perfectly fine. Remember early in the CV scare in March and April that that they didn't even want you to go to the hospital. You said, "Oh, you can't go here, uh, because we can't do anything to you." And that's what they told a family member of mine. I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you. Go back home. So why they're urging people to go to those urgent cares if they can't do anything for you? It's about money. Money, 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 money. They have the urgent care facilities implementing around 2, 3 years ago. Remember, I did videos about that. I said, oh wow, I see all these urgent care places all over the city. Why is that? And one of them particular um, had this advertisement for getting the HIV injection. The cocktail that's supposed to allow you. Oh wow! So you think all that stopped too? You think venereal disease stopped? You think all these things stopped? So no one is dying from anything else. See, they want you to be focused on one thing to distract you. This is all a distracting. And again, I'm watching this show on my computer. It's Infowars, and Infowars with Alex Jones, that man that you see there, his name is Alex Jones. And he has some new information. Some of it is fabulous. Really expands, uh, gives you understanding what's going on. Common sense. And they want you afraid. They want you to give over your rights. Don't give anything. And that's why I share what I share, because I'm tired of giving away my rights. I gave away my rights as a youngster when I was too afraid to eat from my own garden. When I was growing up, my family had a peach tree. I was terrified of the peaches. Terrified. Yeah. But I go out and eat from another store and in safety. So they give you a false sense of protection. They give you a false sense of protection. And when you feel protected by what others do, they can do anything to you and you just do it, like the vaccines. Oh, try this. I mean, I know couple of years back, I did volunteer work in this hospital in the inner city. I volunteered there for 9 months, and it was, oh, what was that now? Um, yeah, she was pregnant for the first time. She was a married woman who worked there. And she was like frightened about, oh, I better get the vaccine. I better get the vaccine. Yeah, this is about 8 years ago. This is in 2012, summer of 2012, around that time. And she wants to get a vaccine. I said, but you're pregnant. Why get that? Why? You ain't sick. Don't. If it's not broken, don't fix it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Man. And this woman, she was a science major. She was a nutrition major. She graduated from nutrition school. So she's exposed to science and all that. And she's going to do that? Well, she did. And other women who I know, women with children, and they do this. Oh, I'm going to get this. And she, oh, yeah, this other person was a school teacher. Wow. They are so brainwashed. Why you're saying that vaccine is protecting you more than you can protect yourself? You know what the logic in that is? Listen to this, folks. Um, Breast milk versus baby formula. Breast milk versus uh, baby formula. And they want you to believe that that baby formula is more nutritious than your mother's breast milk, and that your breasts are dirty, and it's uncivilized for you to breastfeed your baby. But just take this uh, baby formula. Oh, and it's superior. Baloney. Baloney. I'm not a mother. I never had children. But my common sense says baloney. They brainwash women to believe that their breasts are dirty and that you need a scientist. And usually these scientists are men who know nothing really of the breast other than, what they know about the breast or what they do with the breast. Okay? So these men are telling you, women, how to take care of your babies, how to feed your babies. You need a scientist to tell you how to feed your baby? See, I get angry at this. Oh, look at, oh, I was just about to show you something on the monitor. This fakery happened in front of our very self, our face. We're believing the lie. You believe what you want to believe. Believe what you want to believe, but start challenging what you are seeing. You need to challenge it. When I say challenge, I don't mean to go out there in someone's face and beat them up. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for you to think. When I say challenge in this instance, I mean to think. To think what they're saying and analyze what they're saying. We're not analyzing anymore. People are telling us things and we believe it. I met this woman, I know a little over the place, but it's just really to really get you to understand what my life is like, what's happening. I, um, I did many different occupations growing up, and I used to work as a security guard, and in fact, it was my last type of work I've done. I did for only maybe 2 years, 2.5 years maximum. And yeah, that was just to get some money in, so I can get what I need to get. Oh, what happened now? What was I just saying? Oh yeah, this security guard work. There was a lady. She was older than me. This is going on maybe this is about 16 years ago, so it's quite a while ago. But it just seems very recent to me. But actually, it was around 2004, 2005, around 2004. Yeah, 2004 around. And this I seem to attract people that are a lot of women who are intimidated by me. I kept a low profile, but people could size up people. They know who you are. I'm not from the ghetto, but you're from where you're from. Where you're from is okay. You are who you are. But these ladies, some of them, and they're women of a poor mindset, a limited education mindset. And again, I'm not saying this to be arrogant, but it's what I pick up. again, to be in this type of work, we all have to take the same exam. We have to do, we're responsible for the same thing. But I'm just trying to, give a background of this. And at that time, I was in school too. I didn't graduate yet, but I was on my way to graduate in a year once I started that type of work, that line of work. So she could have been in her 60s. Um, and she approaches me. She was a black woman, dark-skinned black woman, and she was like trying to, like showing off and saying, um, oh, I'm a police detective and blah, blah, blah. And then she showed me a picture of her in a room, and it looked like a type of police gear. But in New York City, where I am living in, you have people who direct traffic, and they wear outfits that looks almost identical to some police. When you look at them really close, you have to look real closely. If you don't see a gun and stuff like that, they can easily look like police officers, and that's all. And I'm thinking, why is this person coming to me? She's doing security work just like me. You need a you need a license to be a security guard in New York City. So we all went through the same type of school, and then you get your license to do that. You take a test and you get your license, and then you look for a job. And I was working. Excuse me, my nose is a little runny. Um, so the person is like showing off, and so I thought she's just wanted to humor me, and she wanted me to play along with this. So and that was my only reason. So I respond to her when she was saying that she is a police detective. I said, "Oh, show me your badge." And she has a hissy fit. Yes, she gets a hissy fit on me. Well, I can't show you, or blah, 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 blah. And she starts yelling at me. So I was wondering what happened. I was playing along with her game. She wanted to impress me that she's a police detective, but she's doing security guard work. So I just wanted to just humor her and say, hey, let me see your badge. She showed me this jacket she had on. So let me see it. Well, then she, I think, walks away, and then she comes back. Then she says, you're the only person that ever asked me to see my badge. And then she walked away. See that? Didn't she just out herself? Didn't she just out herself? Yeah, you have insecure people, and they tell you things for whatever reason. And when you just challenge them, and again, I wasn't trying to be violent or anything, I was actually humoring her. She wants me to grovel at her feet because she's a police detective. But either way, in the exploration of digging deep and challenging a situation, through questions and thinking. Now, if she were a police detective, why would she be asking me? I mean, why would she be telling me that? A detective is someone, or they do detective work, thereby asking you questions to get information. Why is she telling you stuff about herself? That's something you keep to yourself, because you're always once a cop, always a cop, and once a detective, always a detective, and you're on call, right? So why would she need to be telling me this? So you ask yourself, well, if she's a police detective, why is she in this job? If she's a police detective, she would be licensed to carry a gun, right? So they have in security people who are licensed to carry weapons. And you're a police officer or police detective, you bet you have your license to carry a gun. So she'll be in a different category of security and working at a different site, not the site that I'm in. I don't have I don't know how to shoot a gun, and I don't have no license for any type of weapon. So I'm just a regular security guard that you see out there. Yeah, my battery's going to go low soon, so I gotta uh, hurry up quickly. Okay, so you have um, so she wouldn't be at that type of job site. She'd be at a different type of site, like a government site, where they need people who are licensed to carry a gun and know how to use it. And they pay very well. Okay, they pay very well. She wouldn't be there. So, isn't that logic to ask those questions? Why, if you're a police detective, not just a cop, but a detective, why would you be working where I'm working? Why would you need to try to show me up that you're the detective and I'm not? And just ask them, hey, let me see a badge. Hey, let me see, or let me see a gun. Yeah. And when people respond defensively, that is an indication of people trying to deceive you. So, like this COVID, oops, I wasn't supposed to say that word, the CV, like with CV, ask questions. Like with gardening, getting food, ask yourself questions. Hey, how come I feel that their garden is better than mine? That if I eat from my garden, it's something poisonous, but you can go to any supermarket where they have tons of GMO food, but that's okay. See, this is a psychological war that's being done on the public. Psychological. They don't want you to think anymore. They want you to think that others have the answers, but not you. So, in part of my exploration, I call this channel Spirit Journey, it's about my going against the system through reasoning and logic, through reasoning and logic, and asking myself questions, and even doing the meditations and discovering things on my own. And to know because I ventured into different realms, whether it be through meditation, whether it be through tarot cards, through pendulum, through different things, through looking at alternative news reporting. You need to get out of the mainstream and start including, I said, not just exclude, but to include other things. So you have um, a well-rounded spectrum of information, and then you decide for yourself. You decide for yourself what fits for you. And that's why I share what I share, because I know I'm not alone, and I don't know anyone who is in more darkness than I was. I was in very deep darkness of ignorance, afraid of everybody, everything. I was afraid of myself, and now, I'm starting to redo my formal meditation. So I have a mirror, a floor-length mirror, beautiful mirror actually, and I do meditation in front of it. I do what they call inner work, and you stare in the mirror in a dark room. I have a candle, and I look into my eyes, and I talk to my reflection, and I do so symbolically, because see, as I said, I used to be afraid of myself. I didn't want to know myself. I thought everything about me was bad and evil because people told me that. Family told me that. Life taught me that. School taught me that. And now I'm able to embrace the woman in the mirror. You are your worst enemy. You are your worst enemy, and you are your best friend. Become your best friend. Get to know yourself. Trust yourself. So yes, I do the meditation. You know the mindfulness meditation. In addition, to look in the mirror and to get to know myself. And yes, you do start to see things in the mirror. Yes. And I went to this institution in, what do you call it? This school. I shouldn't say institution. This school that teaches how to meditate, to do astral projection. I haven't done astral. I almost got out of my body. It was spooky. Yeah, it was also new to me. That was in 2016. That's 2016. I started in February of 2016 the uh, astral projection school, and in this school they teach you about meditation, and they taught the technique of meditation, and they discuss part of the technique when you uh, steer like into what do you call it? Like you have your eyes closed, and then when you look at a figure, sometimes like, and you stare at them with your eyes partially open, uh, the visage of the person you're looking at changes. You can do the same effect by looking at yourself in your reflection, a mirror, and you start to see other people. Now, yes, that can scare you, but I said to myself, I'm going to try to overcome my fear. And so I give words of love. I said, I love you. I love you, mirror. I love you, reflection. I love you, being. Give words of, you increase the, the, you lighten up the atmosphere when you say that you accept yourself, and to bring a spirit of love. And so the things that you see, I think they're attracted to the positive affirmations. This is just my interpretation. They like the affirmations because these could be spirits, and the school did teach about that. And so I'm speculating that, hey, they see me doing this. I'm a black woman, and the people that I'm seeing look like people of color. Some of the people look like they're from India area and other North American blacks that I see. Uh, some they seem to be older, look like in the 60s, 70s type of thing, and um, I think it's positive. So I tell them, I say, love yourself. And I tell them, love yourself. And you have a right to love yourself and to accept yourself. And you can move on your journey to the next level and go to your creator, or maybe going to your relatives, ancestors, and give them words of encouragement or to protect them and to teach them things. And that's what I've been saying now. I did it for 3 consecutive days so far. I really want to get back into the swing of it, to, do the mindful meditation by the mirror, in addition to, closing my eyes and going within and trying to make sense of these places that I visit during my meditations that I do when I first wake up in the morning. Yeah. So that's it for today. And again, for those of you who just came on board in today's uh, uh, video, that I had a vision that I was outside, and this pavement that I was looking at, it reminded me of the entryway of Central Park that I come in, but it wasn't that location because the pavement is a different color. But it was very interesting, and it looked like it was the current season, because I did see grass at this pavement. It was this grayish colored pavement, and the curb was rounded, and right by the curb was matted grass, like what we have now. Because now it's getting cooler in New York. It's November of 23rd, 2020, and the time right now is 8:19 a.m. in the morning. So that's it. And I appreciate you guys watching with me and writing your comments. Thank you again. And those of you who like my content, you may wish to PayPal me and to donate to my channel, Spirit Journey. And on my channel, on the banner on the top right, you see my PayPal me link. Just click on it and follow the prompt. Any amount would be greatly appreciated, and I thank you in advance. Peace, love, and joy to you all who are watching. And yes, stand your ground. Do not look for trouble, but stand your ground. Love yourself. Love the person you see in the mirror. And love your neighbor. And do good. Do what you want people to do unto you. Okay? So I thank you again for listening. And keep on keeping on. Ask questions. Okay? Thank you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Okay? I think it's Monday. Yeah. Bye bye, guys.